Welcome to our documentary on Idi Amin, often referred to as the African Hitler. This title infers his brutality and style of governance that closely mirrored the infamous dictator of Germany, Adolf Hitler. Born in Koboko, Idi Amin had a promising military career that quickly spiraled into abject dictatorship, characterized by brutal repression and unthinkable violence. Idi Amin wasn't always the dictator whose name strikes fear and horror today. He joined the British colonial army in 1946, serving in a regiment that was known for its loyalty to the royal family. His ambition and ruthlessness propelled him through the rankings, and by the late 1960s, he was one of the most high-ranking officers in the Ugandan army. During this time, Uganda was grappling with issues of post-colonialism, a quest for identity, and rampant corruption. Amin saw these shortcomings as an opportunity and strategically forged alliances with political leaders, including Milton Obote. However, his loyalty was short-lived, and in 1971, he launched a military coup that saw him ascend to the highest echelons of power in Uganda. Amin ushered in a new form of governance, one that shocked the world. His brutal rule saw the expulsion of Asian Ugandans, who formed the backbone of the country's economy. Almost overnight, these individuals, together with their businesses and expertise, were chased out of the country, leading to economic disarray. Amin's brutal regime was characterized by systemic repression, torture, and the massacre of political dissidents. His secret police, the State Research Bureau, was responsible for unspeakable atrocities, and their cocktail of suppression techniques only intensified global concerns about the situation in Uganda. Despite his numerous human rights violations, Amin found support from Western nations seeking geopolitical allies in Africa. This acceptance of Amin's rule represents a troubling episode in international relations and underlines the uncomfortable truths concerning realpolitik. On the African continent, however, it was a different story. Under Amin's rule, Uganda descended into chaos. The regime's brutality led to the deaths of an estimated 300,000 people, while millions more suffered. Amin's barbarity was on display for the world to see, chillingly reminiscent of the aforementioned Hitler, who ruled with an equally iron fist in Europe. In 1979, Amin's reign of terror came to an end when Tanzanian forces, supported by Ugandan exiles, waged a military campaign against his government. Amin fled the country, living out the remainder of his life in exile in Saudi Arabia. Despite no longer being in power, Amin's legacy was far from eradicated. His regime had shredded the very tapestry of Uganda's society and economy, and it would take the country numerous years to recover from Amin's catastrophic leadership. Yet Amin did redeem himself in some small way during his twilight years. Far from the savage dictator that the world remembered, he was instead a Zanzibar and Swahili folk musician, his music an unexpected testament to the stark contrast between his public persona and private life. However, it is important to acknowledge that the years of oppression and wreckage brought about by Amin's leadership must not be forgotten or belittled by the music he performed in his twilight years. As the world remembers Amin, it is his reign of terror that should be the primary focus. Idi Amin's story is a stark reminder that power in the wrong hands leads to catastrophic consequences for a nation. His reign of terror is a testament to the fact that leaders who rule with a ruthless disregard for human life and rights will be eventually overthrown and their legacies condemned. As Amin's life comes to an end in 2003, it marks the end of a monstrous chapter in Uganda's history. His demise did not, however, erase the scars left behind by his reign. Uganda had to pick up the pieces and embark on a journey of reconciliation, rehabilitation, and rebirth. His death may have signaled the end of a difficult era, but it also represented a missed opportunity. Amin had the potential to be a great leader, a leader who could have led Uganda's transformation post-colonialism, but his unbridled ambition, his inherent cruelty, and his selfish motives led to the infamy that defines his legacy. Today, amidst the ruins of his reign, Uganda is a renewed country, determined to build a resilient society while consciously ridding itself of the stains of its past. Despite the immense challenges that still plague the nation, Uganda's efforts to rebuild and reinvent itself are commendable. As we wrap up our exploration of the life and reign of Idi Amin, we are left with a chilling reminder that absolute power indeed corrupts absolutely. Even the mightiest of regimes are not impervious to collapse if built on a foundation of brutality, coercion, and repression. We must learn from history, remembering that the price of apathy can be far costlier than the price of effective intervention. The ghost of Amin continues to haunt Uganda, but his end serves as a potent reminder that while dictators may rise, they are not invincible, and with the power of the people, their reign will crumble. This end of one man's reign marked only the beginning of a nation's long struggle for redemption. An important part of that process is confronting its traumatic past, continuing to bring the guilty to justice, and ensuring Uganda does not veer off the path to progress. This process of healing is long and arduous, but the people of Uganda are determined to move forward. Idi Amin's name remains etched in the annals of history, a testament to his vicious rule, his utter inhumanity, and the unquantifiable suffering he caused. Today, he is but a memory, but the lessons from his reign remain, speaking loud and clear for the generations to come. From Idi Amin's story, a simple but profound lesson emerges: if we do not learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. And Uganda, having paid the steepest price, is a living, breathing testament to this sobering reality. On this note, we conclude our narrative on Idi Amin. A fallen dictator, a cautionary tale, and a stark reminder of the power of resilience. Through the darkness of his reign, the people of Uganda found their voice. And in that collective voice, we find an abiding message of hope and redemption. As we close this chapter on Uganda's history, we also open a new one. One that we hope will be characterized by justice, equity, and opportunity for all. While there is still much work to be done, it is necessary to recognize how far Uganda has come and how much potential it has for a brighter future. We look towards the future with a sense of optimism and hope, knowing that the resilience of one nation's past can shape its future. We hope that this lesson will not be lost on future generations and that through the collective memory of past atrocities, the world can prevent such tragic chapters from being written ever again. The title African Hitler was given to Idi Amin by the world for the unparalleled brutality he committed against his own people. The narrative we presented here has unveiled not the tyrant he appeared to be but the man he became. A man whose shadows of dark deeds still haunt the history of Uganda, Africa, and the world. Idi Amin's story is not only a tale of terror, but a tale of the power of the human spirit to endure, persist and triumph, an edifying illustration of how a nation can steer itself from the abyss and chart a course towards a brighter future. As the chapters of Uganda's history continue to be written, may the echoes of its tumultuous past serve as a constant reminder of the resilience of its people, the power of their collective dissent, and the potential for transformative change. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of a monumental era in Uganda's history, a period scarred by an irrevocable tragedy, a period that serves as a stark reminder of the horrors that man can inflict upon man. However, it also stands as evidence of the resilience of the human spirit, and the ability of a nation and its people to rise from the ashes of destruction and create a better future. As we step out of the realm of Uganda's past, we must hold steadfast to the knowledge of the sacrifices made for the country's present, and remain ever vigilant in our efforts to ensure the safety, stability and prosperity of its future. The narrative of Idi Amin serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the devastating consequences it can bring. It also teaches us about the strength of the human spirit, the power of forgiveness, and the extraordinary ability of a country to rebuild itself from the ashes of its past. Thus, our narrative ends, leaving us with profound wisdom garnered from the pages of history and immortalized in the hearts of all those who survived and carried the harrowing tales of those who did not. It's a tale that should never be repeated, a crucial aspect of understanding the progression of societies, nations and humanity as a whole.